myself, and then I'll go to Yvette, and I believe Silas had a question. We've experienced that in and of ourselves. We had one of our cultivators' doors kicked in after we proved that the statistics that a captain was trying to bring about to say that our community was harmful to neighborhoods were false. We basically proved that they had presented false statistics, and then we had our doors kicked in, and we had all of our medicine taken, and we had all of our equipment taken. We threw a big fit in the media. We ended up being the largest return of medicine in SFPD history because they kind of figured out, wait a second, we're not going to win here. Let's, turn the story around. And so we're all survivors also of saying, hey, wait a second, this system is corrupt, and then not but a week and a half later have a door kicked in of one of our primary gardeners for this community center. And it takes about 3 pounds of medicine, to keep everybody here getting about a gram a day and receiving a meal, and we have different providers that all pitch in to actually create a true sense of collective, but it's also we're all committed to a greater sense of justice as well. So, we've been in similar circumstances of basically being politically targeted for speaking out. The nice thing is that, we knew that they were trying to stigmatize us as well.
Yeah.
And you know what? It didn't work. I still have a room packed full of advocates every time we call a meeting. And I just want to offer you some hope and strength along those lines that, we've found that the more we speak out, the more the momentum gets going, the more protection. There is protection in numbers, and there's protection in consciousness and awareness as well. Doesn't mean they're going to stop coming after us, right?
We're in solidarity.
Exactly, absolutely. Thank you, Cora. That's basically what I'm trying to say, is we're in solidarity with you, and we've experienced, on a much lesser level, of course, where we're not having, we don't have any big bank account or anything like that, but we had our medicine for the next 4 months. They were counting on basically shutting down our community center by grabbing the medicine. They're like, this is how we silence Shona. We take her medicine. And then there's going to be nobody to be there to learn to combat the injustice. And the same thing that's happening to you with the stigmatization is also happening to our friend Greg Shepp, who tried to open up the dispensary in the Sunset. He was working with us. We had a garden up north with him, and surprise, he gets targeted, and now, bam, nobody wants to communicate with him, everyone gets scared. And it seems to me that a lot of what's going on with the tactics from the federal government, especially with my friend Van's case that just happened, that they're going after money structuring charges. They're leaving the cannabis on the side because they don't want the cannabis movement to get on a roll again. But it's like, I don't see how that's going to work, because we get the money structuring charge is putting our providers in jail. And so I guess one of my questions is, do you think that they're going to do something similar along the lines of what they did to our friend Van, where they're going to, and in his case, remember, the original raid was 6 years ago. The recent rally that we went to, the original raid was 6 years ago. So it's like,
He has a new baby.
and I know, a little baby Phoenix, so
The first
cute.
2 years of its life,
6 months.
Yeah.
6 kids, you said, yeah.
And in my particular case, I'm able to prove where all my money's come from. I did big construction jobs, and I made good money and plenty of money to show. And I don't have they came at me at first trying to accuse me of property that I bought, but I can prove where all my money came from. And they're very surprised that I own several pieces of property, but it's my business. That's what I do, is buy and sell property. It's not so I've done it my whole life. It's not unusual. So I think they've more or less backed off on the money part of my case, but who knows what they'll do in the future, because if they can't get you one way, they try and get you another way. So my true problem is I spoke up, and they don't like it when people speak up. And the problem is most people don't get active until they've been arrested.
That's right.
And how to get the people to come out of the woodwork and show up when they need to show up before they get arrested, because it's a matter of time. They pick us off one by one, and when they're done throwing innocent people in jail, they go after somebody else because they have to have a reason for having their jobs in the first place. And one suggestion I would make to the United States government is any asset forfeitures are not allowed to go to the cops that take the assets. Give them to charity. Let the money go to drug programs and alcohol programs or homeless programs. Take away the incentive for cops to take our assets and hire more cops to make more members of their own brotherhood.
Right.
And which creates more cops taking more money from more people. Take the incentive away from it, and a lot of that will stop. And drag a friend. Everybody here obviously is an activist, or they wouldn't be here. If everybody here drug one more person to this meeting, you'd have twice as many people here. And
I couldn't let them in.
There is actually. Have to get a bigger building.
Medical cannabis out of federal jurisdiction for the medical cannabis states. That's one of the asks that I'm putting forward to Eric Holder and asking people to join me in, because I feel like if we have 30 senators in 15 states, we should have some little, at least, come on, ability to get the DEA jurisdiction removed from anything that even indicates that it's a medical cannabis investigation. And we're trying to do the same on the local level as well.
Sanctuary for growers, protections for growers. And you were just growing for yourself, right?
Myself and family and other people.
Maybe share with other medical friends.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get a change of jurisdiction on the local level as well. I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have 80 raids in one district from our narcotics unit, and for us it was really apparent that it was, and there's another little problem where the big pot was really happy that a lot of the small gardens got raided, right? Yeah. And a lot of people didn't want me going, it's funny. Big Pot was in the room with me and they nodded their head to the deputy chiefs about arresting people when I was telling them not to arrest people. And saying,
Eric Holder's following our case.
Awesome. If you have a legislative aid contact in his office, I would love to get it, because I'm hoping that we're going to be able to raise enough funds to have a few advocates, actual patient advocates, low-income advocates, get in the room with Eric Holder and talk about how this impacts our lives, to not be able to get affordable medicine that's state legal.
I certainly would go there.
Awesome.
You guys are after me so hard to make an example out of me.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah.
And our local sheriff took my picture and handed it out to 80 fundraisers and said, I'm the most dangerous criminal in Lake County. You people...
They're so far off. I mean, like you mentioned, there's a methamphetamine problem like crazy in Lake County.
And you people know me for about 15 minutes, and I can pretty much say everybody in this room can see I'm not a dangerous criminal or a flight risk or a danger to my community. You're wondering?
But you stepped up to this and you crossed the line.
Yes, I know.
That's why they're coming after you, because you told them what they were, and they're making an example out of you, and that's the whole thing right there.